Welcome to my channel, The Spoiler Zone, your ultimate destination for in-depth analysis and captivating breakdowns of your favorite film. Alert: this video contains spoilers. Dune, Part 2 is a 2024 American epic science fiction film directed and produced by Denis Villeneuve, who co-wrote the screenplay with Jon Spaihts. The sequel to Dune, 2021, is the second of a two-part adaptation of the 1965 novel Dune by Frank Herbert. It follows Paul Atreides as he unites with the Fremen people of the desert planet Arrakis to wage war against House Harkonnen. Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Josh Brolin, Dave Bautista, Stellan Skarsgård, Charlotte Rampling, and Javier Bardem reprise their roles from the first film, with Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, Christopher Walken, Léa Seydoux, and Sohaila Yacoub joining the ensemble cast. Development began after Legendary Entertainment acquired film and television rights for the Dune franchise in 2016. Villeneuve signed on as director in 2017, intending to make a two-part adaptation of the novel due to its complexity. Production contracts were only secured for the first film, with the second film having to be greenlit based on the first success. Villeneuve was concerned about the sequel's certainty after the first film had a simultaneous theatrical and HBO Max release, but Warner Bros. Pictures assured him the sequel would happen if it performed well on HBO Max. After the critical and commercial success of the first film, Warner Bros. And Legendary greenlit Dune, Part 2 in October 2021. Principal photography took place in Budapest, Italy, Jordan, and Abu Dhabi between July and December 2022. After being delayed from the November 2023 release date due to the 2023 Hollywood labor disputes, the film had its world premiere at the Odeon Luxe Leicester Square, London, on February 15, 2024, and opened in the United States on March 1. It was praised by critics and has grossed over $631 million worldwide, making it the highest-grossing film of 2024. A third film, based on Dune Messiah, is currently in development. The film starts following the destruction of House Atreides by House Harkonnen. Princess Irulan, the daughter of Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV, secretly journals that Paul Atreides may still be alive. On Arrakis, Stilgar's Fremen troops, including Paul and his pregnant mother, Lady Jessica, overcome a Harkonnen patrol. When Jessica and Paul reach Sietch Tabr, some Fremen suspect they are spies, while Stilgar and others see signs of the prophecy that a mother and son from the outer world will bring prosperity to Arrakis. Stilgar tells Jessica that Sietch Tabr's Reverend Mother is dying and that Jessica must replace her by drinking the water of life, a poison fatal for males and the untrained. Jessica transmutes the poison, surviving and inheriting the memories of every female ancestor in her lineage. The liquid prematurely awakens the mind of her unborn daughter, Alia, allowing Jessica to communicate with her. They agree to focus on convincing the more skeptical northern Fremen of the prophecy. Chani and her friend, Shishakli, believe the prophecy was fabricated to manipulate the Fremen. However, she begins to respect Paul after he declares that he only intends to fight alongside the Fremen, not to rule them. Paul and Chani fall in love as Paul immerses himself in Fremen culture, learning their language, riding a giant sandworm, becoming a Fedaykin fighter, and taking part in raids against Harkonnen spice operations. Paul adopts the Fremen names Usul and Muad'Dib. Due to the devastating spice raids, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen replaces his nephew, Glossa Rabban, as Arrakis' ruler with his psychotic, murderous younger nephew, Phaedrotha. Lady Margot Fenring, a Bene Gesserit, is sent to evaluate Phaedrotha as a prospective Kwisatz Haderach and to secure his genetic lineage by seducing him. Jessica travels south to unite with Fremen fundamentalists who believe in the prophecy. Paul stays north, fearful that his visions of a holy war will occur if he goes south as a messiah. He reunites with Gurney Halleck, who leads him to the hidden atomic stockpile of House Atreides. Phaedrotha attacks the northern Fremen, including Siege Tabr, forcing Paul and the survivors to journey south. Shishakli remains, and Phaedrotha kills her. Upon arrival, Paul drinks the water of life and falls into a coma. Chani is angered by his action but is forced by Jessica to mix her tears with the liquid, which awakens him. Paul now has a clearer vision of the past, present, and future. He sees an adult Alia on a water-filled Arrakis and that Jessica is the Baron's daughter. He also sees a singular path to victory among all possible futures. The southern Fremen leaders urge Paul to challenge Stilgar in a death duel for leadership, but he refuses and instead galvanizes the fundamentalists by showing that he can read their innermost thoughts. He declares himself the Lisan al-Gaib and sends a challenge to Shaddam, who arrives on Arrakis with Irulan, Mohiam, and his Sardaukar troops. As Shaddam chastises the Harkonnens, the Fremen launch an offensive using atomics and sandworms to overpower the Sardaukar forces. Paul murders the Baron and captures Shaddam and his entourage. Gurney intercepts and kills a fleeing Rabban. Paul challenges Shaddam for the throne and, to Chani's dismay, demands Irulan's hand in marriage. Shaddam admits his involvement in the destruction of House Atreides. Previously summoned by the Baron, the Great Houses arrive in orbit. Paul threatens to destroy the spice fields with atomics if they intervene. Shaddam chooses Phaedrotha as his champion, and Paul kills him in a knife duel. Irulan agrees to Paul's request for marriage on the condition that her father lives. Shaddam kneels and kisses Paul's signet ring. After the Great Houses reject Paul's ascendancy, he orders the Fremen to attack the orbiting fleet. As Stilgar leads the Fremen onto the captured Sardaukar ships, Jessica reflects on the beginning of Muad'Dib's holy war. Chani refuses to bow to Paul and departs alone on a sandworm. What I understand from the movie is that Dune 2, 2024, is rich with political intrigue, religious themes, and philosophical concepts, exploring themes such as destiny, power, and the consequences of manipulation. Subscribe and comment for more videos like this, and thank you for watching. I recommend this movie for those who like sci-fi and adventure.